The Galactic Historical Archive contains thousands of records about humanity's integration into the cosmic community. Diplomatic treaties, trade agreements, cultural exchanges, all painted a picture of a patient, reasonable species willing to endure almost anything for the sake of peace. The keyword being almost. Ambassador Kethvar of the hegemony still remembers the exact moment everything changed. It was during what the humans called the Epsilon Incident, though every species in the galaxy knew it by a different name, the day the prey became predators. For decades, humanity had been the galaxy's punching bag. The Vorthak would raid human colonies and claim taxation rights. The SSI-Rook Empire would abduct human civilians for genetic research. The Trade Consortium would impose impossible tariffs on human goods while flooding Earth markets with subsidized alien products. Through it all, humanity smiled, negotiated, and absorbed every blow with remarkable grace. "We thought they were weak," Kethvar recorded in his personal log. "Their military was small, their technology inferior. They had no natural armor, no claws, no venom, just soft pink skin and an inexplicable tendency to apologize even when wronged." The breaking point came when the hegemony's 7th Fleet destroyed the human agricultural station at Epsilon Eridani. 300,000 civilians, farmers, children, teachers, vaporized in what Admiral Grixtalk called a demonstration of superior firepower. The human delegation to the Galactic Council didn't even raise their voices during the emergency session. They simply requested time to consider their response. What happened next defied every psychological profile the galaxy had compiled on humanity. Within 72 hours, every single hegemony military installation within 50 light-years went dark. Not destroyed, dark. Communication arrays severed with surgical precision. Defense platforms disabled but left intact, their crews missing. Supply convoys vanishing without a trace. Their cargo holds emptied. Their personnel found days later on distant moons with no memory of how they'd gotten there. "It was impossible," General Thakmore of the Vron Confederacy later testified. "Our sensors detected no human ships, no energy signatures, nothing. One day our forces were there, the next they weren't. It was like the humans had turned invisible. But invisibility was just the beginning." The SSI-Rook research facilities that had been conducting experiments on human subjects were found completely empty, not just of personnel but of everything. Equipment, data, even the emergency rations had been stripped away. Security footage showed nothing but empty corridors, as if the contents had simply ceased to exist. The Trade Consortium's worst nightmare materialized when their economic stranglehold on human worlds simply stopped working. Overnight, every human settlement became completely self-sufficient. Farms that had been producing basic crops suddenly yielded harvests that shouldn't have been possible with their soil conditions. Manufacturing centers that had been dependent on alien raw materials began producing goods from seemingly nothing. "We realized we had been fighting the wrong war entirely," Trade Director Vexel admitted years later. "We thought we were dealing with a primitive species dependent on our largesse. Instead, we discovered we had been fighting a civilization that had been deliberately restraining itself." The truth emerged gradually, in fragments that painted a terrifying picture. Humanity hadn't been defenseless, they had been choosing defense over offense. Their inferior technology wasn't a limitation. It was a conscious decision to avoid an arms race they could have won from the beginning. Their diplomacy wasn't weakness. It was a dam holding back something the galaxy wasn't prepared to face. The evidence was overwhelming once examined objectively. Humans were the only species in the galaxy that had evolved as persistence hunters, creatures capable of tracking prey across impossible distances and timescales. They were the only species that had developed warfare as a science rather than an art, creating strategies and technologies specifically designed to break their opponent's will to fight. Most disturbing of all, they were the only species that had achieved faster-than-light travel without help. Every other civilization in the galaxy discovered FTL through archaeological finds or gifted technology. Chief xenoarchaeologist Mordun noted in his classified report. Humans built it from scratch. In hindsight, this should have been our first warning. The Epsilon incident lasted exactly 96 hours. When it ended, Admiral Grixtalk and his entire command staff found themselves on the bridge of their flagship, unharmed but surrounded by detailed technical specifications for weapons that shouldn't exist. The message was simple. A single sheet of paper with 2 words written in perfect hegemony script. Be nice. Since that day, no species in the galaxy has dared to test humanity's patience. The raids stopped. The abductions ceased. Trade became genuinely equitable for the first time in galactic history, because every species finally understood the truth. Humans hadn't been learning to fit into galactic civilization. They had been teaching it to them one lesson at a time.